Have you worked through the summer thinking that you'll do great in a race, and then go to a race, go through, halfway through the race, you're feeling good, and suddenly everything falls apart? That's exactly what happened to me this past weekend when I ran Ridge to Ridge trail race. Through the summer, heat, humidity, midday, evening, early morning, I've been training a lot. I've been training road, though. Most of my trainings has been road. I've done very little trail this summer. I'm just trying to switch things around and try to see things. So trying to see if my road training will take me far in trail. But basically, I've been training, there's some video about me training, 40 miles, 45 miles, weekends, those kind of things I've done. Those trainings are difficult trainings. Those are not easy. I'm doing 3 days, 45 miles, 3 days, 40 miles, 3 days, 30 miles, 35 miles. And we can talk about those kind of training. I do have a video on that. I did most of the training thinking that my road training will take me far. So that didn't work. Let me tell you a story, what really happened. I was at the race last weekend at the Ridge to Ridge. I was taking a race photo. I was 9 minutes behind starting the race. I wanted to run the race because I have not run the trail race in a while. So I thought, okay, let me go ahead and run a race with everybody. But I will be a little behind. And by the time I started, it was 9 minutes behind. I guess I took more pictures than I wanted to take, but definitely it was nice photos. I'm always great to do those, and happy to be there. Then I started the race, caught up with the first person in less than a mile, and then started catching more and more. And my first lap was so fast that I caught up so many folks on the trail. That went ahead of me, and that I have not caught in a while. I have not, I've been first. I have not been racing usually the way I race with the mass start. Either I start early or late or whatever have you. But this was this was a kind of, I just wanted to catch up with the mass start. I was just 9 minutes behind. So definitely my first lap was great. I knew that. I will do good, and I was passing people. I remember it was a lot of narrow trail. I was passing a lot of you. If I passed you, I'm sorry. It was not my intention to show off, but definitely it was my intention to just kind of see where I am with my training. And once I found out that we're not taking that upper ridge where David has put us through the last few years, I was so happy, and then I just took off. I was just like, I was saving my energy for that a little bit, but I took up more. So I was a really good pace. By the time I got back to first lap, which was about 11 miles, it was 2.5 hours, which is good hours for me. And so then I said, okay, I calculated my head. I'll say, okay, 2.5 hours. Maybe I will add 30 minute more, 3 hours next lap. So definitely I was doing fine till I started climbing this big hill. We had to climb yellow white connector. Then I got to the ridge, and it started getting hotter. The day got hotter and hotter and hotter. One of the things about the road race versus trail race, especially road running, is it's an open space. So if you're going to get really hot, or really, the temperature will be stayed the same. In the trail, it was kind of a little different. Some places was more hotter than the others. Wind was not blowing. So when wind doesn't blow on the trail, you could end up with a really hot situation, like a hot mess. And then day just caught up with me, and I just could not move, and my legs were a little it was hurting. First I was in a party the night before, which is, I don't blame it, but it probably has to do with something with it, but definitely not having that trail training. That's kind of where I'm leading this conversation to, that I did not have particular trail training the way I usually do. A lot of time I'm training in the trail, even in the summertime, spending quite a bit of time training in the trail for races like this, that I'm able to keep up with it. But second loop was just bad. It took me almost 3.5 hours to get back, extra hour than I was expecting to get back to start finish area. So definitely it was a good race. I was expecting more like a 5:30 around that time. Then I had added about another 20-30 minutes to the whole thing. So I'm not complaining that the way I finished. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you here is just, if you are training for a trail race, you must train in the trail majority time. I remember Todd Henderson, and whenever I was talking to him about how do you train, Todd is our race director for Pinhoti and all the Pinhoti series. So I was talking to him about, hey, now how do you train for trail? Back when he used to tell me, you're going to have to spend 60 to 70% of your time running the trail. So those of you are about to run any race, like even Pinhoti, any trail race in the Blood Rock, anything you want to do, definitely you want to be on the trail. You don't have to be the trail at Pinhoti or at Blood Rock trails, but some trails, some uneven surface. It's not an easy trail, gravel, trails, something like that. We're talking about maybe single track trails. It doesn't have to be technical, but it's just enough that you can get some verticals. So you can heart rate can go up and down. So you can challenge yourself, hot weather, cold weather, whatever the weather you get. So those things are good training. It was a good reminder to myself as saying, hey, I cannot expect myself just running the road, spending all this time doing the road training, and going to trail thinking that I will just crush it. It's just not going to work, because a lot of time, road, we don't, area that we run, there's not much of hill. So that's one thing I really was not doing good at hill training. Hot and humid, I had no problem with that, but still the type of heat that I got on the trail was a lot different than usually the heat that I get whenever I run the road. So that was another one. And just running the soft surface, the traction on soft surface is a little different, and then the running the road when you do run the asphalt. So those are a few differences. I kind of wanted to mention that just so, because a lot of us don't have a time to go to trail, myself included. And this year has been just one of the tough year that I unintentionally I have not been able to go to trail with my work schedule. So I haven't been able to go to trail because it takes time. Even these days, a lot of my running, if you look at my Strava, they're all from my neighborhood. I spend a lot of time just running around my neighborhood. I'm still running. I still have not, stopped running, and I still have not gone, saying that, hey, it's no time to run, but I am putting my time, and in different time of the day. It's not that I'm not running. I'm like today, I was running at 12, trying to heat up the day, So those are the training. I'm still doing it. Just the thing is that I'm not having enough trail training, which requires different type of skill, different type of body parts that needs to kind of run through it. So definitely that's a good reminder, like I said, to myself, use some of my time of this training and take myself to train on the trail, and just not only rely on road training to take me good in trail. So definitely it's road training definitely gets you speed, and that's what I had on my first lap, but the second lap it just did not work. So just want to remind, so I hope you're doing great. I know that I have not been able to produce podcast lately. I'm just rethinking how I want to do the podcast. Do I want to change the platform, change the name, which I have not done it. So if you enjoy listening to this podcast for a long time and being part of this journey, please send me a note. Marathon Runs, always great to listen to see what direction you want me to take. I know a lot of you like the interview podcast. I haven't had very many interviews lately. So things like that. I'm just trying to kind of find a path here and trying to see where I want to take this podcast. So definitely do let me know. I spend a lot of time creating videos. So that's where I spend a lot of time these days, and also a lot of content and Marathon Runs on the Facebook. So definitely, I have not, somebody not long ago, somebody said, hey, did you die or something? Well, I have not heard your podcast. Just a reminder to them or to him that I have not died yet. I'm still here, but I just trying to find a direction, which way I want to take this podcast to. Definitely, if you think the interview podcast is great, please let me know. I'll bring that in, voice only or video, audio podcasts and things like that. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being out there. We will keep in touch and have a great day. Bye for now.